basic cluster in the UC Core Competency ABCs represents the competencies that impact your ability to build relationships, with B standing for building relationships. There are 3 core competencies in this cluster: belonging and community, collaboration, and communication. While you were learning about the building relationships core competencies, check out the companion guide. For behaviors that resonate with you as true, current strengths of yours, mark those with a star. For those that you want to further develop, or where you think that there might be a gap to close or improve your skills, mark those behaviors with a circle. When you come across behaviors listed that you are a little bit unsure about, so meaning you're still thinking through how that behavior shows up in your role or the role that you're hopeful to grow into, write a question mark next to those. When you come back to these after some reflection, you will have a better sense of your strengths to capitalize on, development areas to maximize potential, and stretch your comfort zone. And with those where you wrote a question mark next to, those are the ones to continue to think about, research, or talk with a coach about. Asking yourself, what's really going to help me grow in the ways that make the most sense for my current and future roles? All right, let's start with belonging and community. At the heart of all of our work in the University of California is our call to include individuals and teams in ways that are authentic and meaningful. Let's check out what the belonging and community competency means for us here in the UC. Models, fosters, and promotes the University of California principles of community, demonstrates empathy and respect for all people regardless of differences, promotes fairness and equity, cultivates, champions, embodies, embraces, and supports a sense of diversity, equity, inclusion, and belonging. As an employee in the UC system, here are the anchors to demonstrate. When you engage others in a way that makes them feel valued and accepted. When you value diverse people, experiences, and ideas, and it's about how you cultivate and maintain an environment of inclusion that empowers your team members to contribute their ideas and achieve goals. And finally, it's that you're self-aware, that you understand your impact on others. Treat everyone equitably with dignity and respect. For managers, notice the behavioral anchors that apply to you that help your teams effectively demonstrate the behaviors you just learned about a few moments ago. Your role is to create a positive work environment that is free from discrimination and harassment. Draw on the diversity of skills, backgrounds, and knowledge of people to achieve more effective results. Ensure that conflicts are solved in ways that leave all team members feeling respected and heard. With belonging and community as our starting point for the building relationships cluster, let's shift to learn more about how collaboration shows up for employees and then managers. In the building relationships cluster, collaboration is characterized as interacting with others in a way that demonstrates collaboration and cooperation. Someone who builds partnerships with others to achieve organizational results. Cultivates, builds, and maintains positive relationships across the organization. As an employee, you can practice these 3 behaviors to show your strengths as an effective collaborator. All right, let's start off with cooperating with each other, right? Sharing information and knowledge to identify and implement solutions in which all parties can benefit. Always have in mind, how can I enable win-win scenarios? Another behavior, help and support fellow employees in their work to contribute to overall success. So you helping your neighbor and your neighbor helping you can make for exponentially better results. Place the needs of the team above self-interests. Further, build and maintain effective working relationships. All right, so as a manager, how do you enable your teams to be effective collaborators? When you prioritize these behaviors, you will encourage a stronger collaborative culture. Starting with, foster an open environment where employees feel safe to provide constructive feedback. Develop and cultivate mutually beneficial working relationships and alliances inside and outside the organization. Encourage and assist others in building networks to improve relationships and maximize results. All right, so first you considered how belonging and community plays a critical role in building relationships. Then collaboration showed you how to elevate trust and relationships to get work done. Now you'll dive into how communication plays such a pivotal role. Communication in the building relationships cluster is defined as clearly and effectively sharing information both orally and in writing, using the most appropriate and effective medium for communicating. Someone who adapts and adjusts messages in line with audience experience, diversity, and background, seeks input, and actively listens, checks for understanding of messages. Okay, so with the definition as your framework, let's think about how you can demonstrate your effectiveness in communication. Consistent sharing of accurate and timely information, also paying attention to your audience and communication method. When you state your opinions honestly and in a straightforward manner, maintain open dialogue with others and actively listen. Your written and verbal communications are consistently clear, concise, and appropriate to the audience. Managers have a huge role in modeling and demonstrating effective communication behaviors so that the team can mirror and reflect their own core anchors. As a manager, speak honestly about issues, seek the truth about situations, no matter how unpleasant. Listen to concerns and carry them up through the organizational chart. Coming back down the organizational chart, share senior management strategies and information with employees. Lastly, demonstrate high standards of integrity, practice discretion, and model diplomacy and tact. All right, now go back to your companion guide, review the core behavioral anchors, and mark your strengths with a star, areas for growth with a circle, and anchors that give you more questions than answers right now with a question mark. Start thinking about ways to maximize your strengths, close gaps in your development areas, and resolve the questions that you have about the anchors that were a little bit cloudy to you. You can find your companion guide linked in the video description below and in the Grow on the Go library. The Achieving Results A cluster provided you with a foundation for planning to get the work done more effectively in the University of California. The Building Relationships B cluster gives equal importance to how we treat one another at work through belonging in community, collaboration, and communication. All right, so let's press fast forward as we speed into the future, continuing to the third cluster in the UC System-Wide Core Competency ABCs, C, Creating the Future.